Jays fans, Mariner fans, here they come. Safeco Field, the destination tonight. Game 2 of a 3-game set. They only visit by the Blue Jays to Seattle this season. As we welcome you to Mariner Baseball, Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, Root Sports crew on hand here. Fabulous night here to play some baseball. And Ariel Miranda coming off an anomaly. A complete game. Can you believe it? It's the first one of the season for the Mariners. He was fabulous last week in his last outing. And let's take a look at the lineup he'll face. John Gibbons, Blue Jays.
They do a lot of their scoring, hitting the ball out of the ballpark. The Blue Jays are 5th in the American League in home runs. And we saw a home run last night. Jose Bautista hitting 3rd in the lineup. His 11th home run in last night's ball game. Justin Smoak really having a terrific year this year. He's hitting 5th in the lineup. Have to be careful with him, hitting .390 overall against lefties. And Darwin Barney, he will get his first start of the series and bat 8th for the Blue Jays. For Miranda, good fastball at 90 miles an hour. Going to have a changeup and a split, occasional slider for him. This year you can see the overall numbers, 6-2 record, 3.74 ERA. He's pitched much better than that here at home. His ERA at home at a 2. Some changes on the defensive side of things. Dyson, what a play he made in last night's ball game out in left center field. He'll get the start there. Then you have Tyler Smith getting the start at shortstop. Taylor Motter is at first base, and Carlos Ruiz will do the catching this evening.
Danny Valencia getting the night off. And we are ready for action. Ariel Miranda, 28-year-old Cuban. Leading winner on the Mariner Ball Club. Championship atmosphere here at Safeco Field. First pitch, swing and a miss. Kevin Pillar.
As you were looking at those numbers in his last start, saw the 105 pitches. Again, 75 of those for strikes. Really had just terrific command. Was able to get to his split.
Pillar 1 for 5 in last night's game. And he's up there hacking away. He's 0-2 hole. 66 degrees under lovely blue sky. Wind out of the west-northwest at 4. And the wind blowing left to right, left field to right field. Miranda 0-2, swing and a miss. 3 pitches, 1 out.
For Miranda, his average fastball this year is at 92 miles an hour. When he's ahead in the count, you see he'll throw it about 45%. Behind in the count, he throws it a lot. Again, fastball changeup split for him, but 75% when he is behind. Opponent's average just 234 against the fastball, and slugging only 414. It's been a good pitch for him.
Umpires for tonight's ball game. Jeff Kellogg has balls and strikes. Jeff, the crew chief. Clint Fagan at first, Tim Timmons at second, and James Hoy at third. Donaldson, broken bat, fly ball. Easy play. Dyson, 2 down.
I was a little bit surprised to look at the numbers for the Blue Jays against left-handed pitching this year. When you look at their lineup, most of it is right-handed and a lot of right-handed power, but hitting just .225 against lefties, 3-10 against left-handed starters. If Miranda can command the strike zone, he should have a good evening.
Jose Bautista, the right fielder. Solo home run, 3rd inning last night. Miranda, no decision back on May 14th. And what became a loss for the Mariners when Pillar took Diaz deep for the game winner in the 9th inning, a walk-off. Miranda going for his 4th consecutive win. Wins in his last 3 starts. 3 starts before that, no decisions. And here's a 3-0 count to Bautista. Bautista, miserable April, 178, got hot in May, hit .317 with 9 homers, and he's off to a 4 for 31 start here in June.
No surprise that he had the green light. And hit his 11th home run last night. A slider that was middle away. Too bad a pitch, but he was able to hit it out to left.
3-1 from Miranda. High fly ball. It's an easy play here for Ben Gamble. 9 pitches. Ariel Miranda continues. Picks up where he left off in his last outing. Mariners coming to bat. Ben Gamble's going to lead things off. He has 12 hits on the homestand. Only Danny Valencia has more with 13. Here's a look at the rest of the Mariner batting order.
12 hits and a couple of them in last night's ballgame, including an RBI for Gamble. Rod Dyson last night, 2 for 3, a run scored and an RBI. He will hit 7th in the lineup. Tyler Smith will round out the 9, getting the start tonight at shortstop for the Mariners. For Stroman, pitching really well this year, a 6-2 record, a 3.25 ERA. Good fastball, right around 94 miles an hour. His best pitch is a slider. Again, one of the better ground ball pitchers in the American League.
Here we go, Stroman. MVP, USA's win in the World Baseball Classic. First pitch strike to Ben Gamble. 5'8", 180 out of Medford, New York and Long Island. Went to and got his degree last year from Duke University. He's rehabbing from a knee injury. Hurt his knee, blew out his knee in a bunt drill in the 15th season. John Gibbons said he didn't expect him back last year and came back and was big help down the stretch after he graduated from, got his degree from Duke University.
Mariners faced him in May in Toronto. 6 innings. He did score a couple of runs off of him. He did have 9 strikeouts in that outing.
Right off the glove of Russell Martin. Don't see too many 5'8" pitchers in the big leagues these days.
No, you don't. And he's a tremendous athlete. I think he was a second baseman at one point.
That's how he got to do.
He's second in the American League in inducing double plays, and there's 14 of them this year, 1 behind Dallas Keuchel, and he has started 4 of them.
In fact, yeah, I think he started 1 when we were in Toronto. It was a heck of a play too.
He can really field his position.
Count runs full to Ben Gamble. Guillermo Heredia is on deck. You want 3-2 here to Gamble, puts it in play to the second baseman Darwin Barney, and it throws him out.
We'll take a look at the rest of the defense for the Jays. Kevin Pillar in center field, one of the best in the business. They call him Superman. So you'll see him trying to make some diving catches in this series. Darwin Barney getting his first start at second base, and Justin Smoak, the former Mariner, will get the start at first.
Guillermo Heredia Over 4 last night. 6 hits on the homestand. First pitch strike. He's 1 for 3 against Stroman. John Gibbons, a skipper for Toronto, says that Stroman's always gives the team something when we need it. They're battling to get over 500 just like the Mariners are. Barney again. 2 down.
Take a closer look. Marcus Stroman in his fastball this year. Again, average fastball right around 94 miles an hour. When he's behind the count, he throws it a lot, 73% of the time. Opponents hitting 285, slugging only 409 off of the fastball. Good sinking fastball, and already a couple of ground ball outs for him in this one.
Brings up Robinson Cano. Discussed his line drives right at people. He said, I need a bunch of bloopers to fall in.
Hit the yellow line last night, ended up being a double, just missing a home run out center field.
Since he's been here, you got to figure he's hit the yellow line in this ballpark a good 5-6 times, right?
I was having that discussion earlier. More than anybody I've seen, right at the top of the yellow line. Did it a couple of times going out to left field, center field a couple of times. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Work to do. He's behind 0-2 here to Stroman.
Probably hitting 281 on the year. 11 home runs for him.
Foul off. Last time the Mariners took on the Blue Jays, it didn't work out well. Big part because Robbie was not in the lineup. Quad issue. Mariners were swept and outscored in a big way, 21-6 in those 4 games in Toronto. Here's the 0-2 again. Oh, dribbler. Stroman. No panic. And he throws out Cano. Quiet Mariner first. This has the makings of a good pitching duel. Stroman against Miranda. Being brought to you by Virginia Mason Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. By your local Toyota dealers. For all Toyota dealers, go to buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. How about that crowd still trying to get in? And we're easily at 35, 38,000. So I'd say 40,000 plus is going to be achievable with ease.
Yeah, it's a sellout.
Take the over. Kendrys Morales leads off. They start by Miranda. 9 pitches to get the first 3 outs.
9 pitches, 6 strikes for Miranda.
Morales 1 for 4 in last night's game. 2-time Mariner. That is playable in the infield. Here comes Motter. Stays with it, makes the play. Comes Justin Smoke, another former Mariner.
For Miranda, it's key for him to have fastball command so that he can get to his split. The velocity on it, 80 miles an hour. When he's ahead in the count, he will throw it 41% of the time. Picks up a lot of strikeouts with that pitch. Opponents hitting just 152, slugging 215. It's critical for him to be able to get to it, and he's done a nice job of that this year.
Switch hitter Justin Smoke, first pitch in there for strike. Smokey having a great year. 291, 17 homers, 42 runs batted in. 13 of his home runs have come from the left side.
Hitting .390 as a right-handed hitter. Mariners have the shift on with him hitting. So Cano over on the left side of the infield.
Smokey 41 at bats right-handed, 158 left-handed. It's been a good year hitting the fastball. Off of Carlos Ruiz.
Good changeup.
Smoke leading in batting average, total bases, later in triples, homers, and runs batted in. The ever burgeoning crowd. Seen it time and again, right? Change of scenery for some guys, and it really pays off. The second stop.
I think there's a number of factors in it. One is its experience and time in the league. I think for Justin last year, he wasn't playing every day. I think he probably learned a lot from that. This year, because of injuries, we've talked about that with the Blue Jays. He gets a chance to play every day. In fact, when we were in Toronto, that's what he was talking to me about, was getting used to playing every day again.
Right, because last year at Encarnacion,
yeah,
would be first base or DH, and Eddie's since moved on to Cleveland.
And a different team. And last year, as you remember, he signed that extension somewhere in the middle of the summer, and I think a lot of people are a bit surprised by that. But maybe that helped him relax too, and maybe it's just his time.
Same draft class. Aaron Hicks went from Minnesota to the Yankees, and Hicks, a switch hitter, playing really well. 2-2. Fly ball for Gamble. Two outs, 5 up, 5 down. Hey, turn back to clock night. Saturday, June 24th. This special night, we're going to go back to the day in 1977, the Mariners' inaugural year. And thanks to Steele, the first 20,000 fans are going to take home a Mariners trident cap. So get ready to celebrate the 70s by boogieing over to Mariners.com for tickets. 2 outs brings up Troy Tulowitzki. Tulo 1 for 4 last night. Struck out looking and swinging in the second and third at bats. He came up in the 8th inning. 1 on, 2 out. He wasn't messing around. He got a base hit to center field. Wasn't getting much help last night. James Hoy was the home plate umpire, and they weren't on the same page. Seager could be a Gold Glove play. Skip it over. Dugout Martin. Yes, sir. What a play by Kyle Seager. The Blue Jays turned away with 2 outs in the second. Sparkling play for the Mariner third baseman. Big Fish Casino, big catch, our resident third baseman, Mike Blowers. It's all yours.
That is about as good as it gets. The diving effort by Kyle. He gets up quickly and he bounces it on purpose. Let us skip across, and Taylor Motter, no problem at first base. A fine play by Kyle Seager. The Mariners with tremendous defense in last night's ball game, and a pretty good start to tonight with that play by Kyle Seager.
Nelson Cruz leads off against Marcus Stroman. First pitch to Nelly's a strike. Nelly 0 for 3 last night. Great to see him back in the lineup. Calf issues kept him out for a couple of games. On the homestand, Nelly 9 for 21 with 2 home runs.
They will be careful with him. Last night they intentionally put him on late in the game, and Scott Service put a pinch runner in immediately.
It's got to get out of play. Cruz starting the night tied with Miguel Sano of Minnesota for the RBI lead in the American League with 46. Seventh in slugging. Got a lot of things working for him. Ball and 2 strikes. Career. Cruz is 3 for 6 against Stroman.
He's been hot. A couple of home runs in the last 5 games.
Borderline pitch there. Advantage. He got one there. Full count. Kyle Seager, Taylor Motter to follow. 3-2 pitch. Up the middle. It's got some touch spin. Goes into center field. Base hit. Nelson Cruz. First hit of the ball game.
We're talking about Stroman and being a ground ball pitcher. He gets a ground ball here, but it finds a hole right back up the middle. So Nelson Cruz now 4 for 7 against Stroman in his career. All 3 outs by Stroman in the first inning on the ground.
Brings up Kyle Seager, 1 for 3 with an RBI last night. Big RBI in the 8th insurance run for the Mariners.
With a couple of strikes on him, facing Luke, the left-hander. With a line drive into left center.
That was impressive because that kid's coming down from about the dugout, right?
You really have to stay in there if you're a lefty against him. Kyle was able to keep his shoulder in. Didn't try to do too much with 2 strikes on him. Just a solid base hit.
0-2.
Pretty good fastball at 94, up and out of the strike zone.
Mariners 7-2 on the homestand. They've won 10 of 12. They're now 1-4 against the Blue Jays. And for the 3rd time this season, the Mariners are at 500. Looking to taste beyond 500 for the first time. John Gibbons, like Scott Service, a catcher in his playing days. He's a hot prospect with the Mets back in '84. A couple of injuries curtailed his playing career. Second stint with the Blue Jays, and he made an advance here by Cruz. A wild pitch.
Well, the Mariners get their first opportunity to hit with the runner in scoring position. Average continues to go up as a team. The Mariners hitting .256 now.
Scott Service, catcher in his days. Houston, San Francisco, Cubs among his stops. In the American League, 9 of the 15 managers were catchers in their playing days. And you got a catcher calling the game on Toronto TV, Buck Martinez. 2-2 here to Seager with Motter on deck. That will get past the diving Barney, lumbering around, taking care of that calf is Nelson Cruz. He scores and the Mariners break on top. It's 1-0 Seattle. RBI for Kyle Seager's 35th.
And for Kyle, he finished his night driving in a run last night, and he starts his night tonight. Pitch up in the zone. And drives it right back up the middle, lets it travel.
Ellie being real careful. Manny telling him, hey, you're good, take it easy. Manny, active third base coach. Here's Taylor Motter. Motter out of the gate with 10 doubles in his first 26 games. He's not had a double since May 9th in Philly.
The challenge for him is, can he stay on that slider, because Stroman's going to throw it to him and try to pitch him away.
Stroman ahead 0-2.
A lot of good things for the Mariners offensively. They are 4th in average, 4th in runs scored, and Seager's starting to heat up. It's a good sign. That base hit and RBI now. It's 35 RBIs on the year.
Martin set up outside and swing and a miss by Motter.
That's a breaking ball.
First strikeout for Stroman, 1 away.
For Marcus Stroman and his slider, he throws it hard, right around 87 miles an hour. When he's ahead in the count, he'll throw it 32% of the time. It's been a good pitch for him. Tries to keep that pitch on the ground as well, about 54% of the time. But opponent's hitting just 262 and slugging only 308. When he throws the slider, you're not going to do much with it.
There's Jarrod Dyson, gave the Mariners the lead last night. He was 2 for 3.
Thought that fastball was down.
Dyson 3 for 7 against Stroman. Donaldson in on the grass at third. And strike 2, and Brad did not like that one either.
For Stroman, 7 batters face 7 first pitch strikes.
Let's have him pulling a neck muscle.
Yeah, probably sore neck. Staying in the lineup. Some elastic tape they put on there to try to help him.
One out, runner at first. 1-0 Mariners. Here in the second inning. Popped it up. Barney for the catch. There's 2 away, and that'll bring up Carlos Ruiz. MLB.com at bat is your #1 mobile app for live Mariners baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. You get Mariners home screen icons and app features, as well as game day live game video highlights, radio broadcast, statcast news, and more. So download MLB.com at bat today. Carlos Ruiz, 5 for his last 8 in his limited time. An upper tank earlier in the week. That was impressive. Last saw Carlos, it was Wednesday. That's when he went upper deck against the Twins. And he goes Oppo here for a base hit. Chooch checking in with a 2-out base hit.
Really good hitting as you take a look at the swing. This is a fastball. It's right on the outside corner. Again, he lets it travel and hits it the other way. Solid base hit into right field.
38-year-old veteran getting it done. Second start this season for Tyler Smith in his appearances. 1 for 5 with a double, his first big league hit. Ball one. Inning started with Cruz singling up the middle. Wild pitch the second. Seager singled him home. 2 outs now. Runners at first and second. It's an effective pitch for Marcus Stroman. One of the few pitchers wearing single digit. Mike Leake, Blake Snell, Urias, Matt Belisle, Clayton Richard, who wears number 3, and Adam Ottavino is on the DL for Colorado, wears 0. Ball and 2 strikes.
And a well located breaking ball after the fastball in the outside corner, comes back with the breaking ball at 83. That was the curveball.
Going to keep this inning alive as people continue to pour in here to Safeco Field. Pitch, swing, and a miss. Staying away, and staying away, and it worked. Mariners take the lead here in the second inning. Nelson Cruz with a base hit up the middle after the Wild pitch the second. Kyle Seager brings him home, and the Mariners have an early lead in Game 2 of this 3-game set with Toronto. This fan representing out near the left field foul pole. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Canadian fans flying their colors as well. Big, I mean a big crowd. Some seats still available. There's the first pitch swinging by Russell Martin. Routine fly ball center field. Dyson for the catch, 1 out. Russell Martin Jr. leading off, followed by Darwin Barney and Ezekiel Carrera, bottom third of the order.
Seeing the fans sitting in the stands, we saw that jersey from Diaz. I think the Blue Jays saw enough of him last night.
When he topped at 101.
101.
That's not Ventura Highway, folks.
No, and he hit 100 a number of times. He was really good last night. I think he only threw 1 slider, picked up a strikeout.
Yep. Diaz with his 10th save last night. Tyler Cloyd was sent down, and Emilio Pagan brought up from Tacoma. There's Darwin Barney, first look in the series here. Barney with his 3rd club in his major league career. He's been with the Cubs and the Dodgers. 3rd season with the Jays. 2-0. Go figure. It's 3-0 to Barney, who's hitting .230, batting in the 8 hole. Retired the first 7 men that he's faced, Miranda.
Strikeout swinging, 1 ground ball out, everything else in the air.
And a 4-pitch walk to Barney, who was 0 for 3 against Miranda. First base runner for the Blue Jays. Time now for our Geico This Day in MLB History. Take you back 12 years, Red Sox and Cubs. Play at Wrigley Field for the first time since 1918. Memory serves me from baseball readings of the past. I believe Mr. Ruth had a big part in that World Series. Yes, indeed. George Herman. Ruth pitched well in that series. The Red Sox victory. Throw over to first.
Miranda, a really good athlete, but probably a below average move as far as left-handers go to first.
There's Ezekiel Carrera, 2 for 4 in last night's game. 2 names come quickly to mind when he mentioned great moves left-handed. Of course, Andy Pettitte.
That's what came to mind for me.
Yep. And now just wait a minute, I just blanked in the guy's name. Ryan Fearbin. He was with the Mariners back in like 08. His might have been closer to a balk than Pettitte's was.
Beimel wasn't bad.
Beimel was very good.
Yes.
Joe, I apologize. I got you right up there. You and Andy Pettitte are an entry.
Yes.
1A and 1 and 1A. Forgot about Joe. Who was it that first time he came in the game? Dude at first. He threw him, picked him off. 3rd out. He never threw a pitch to the plate.
Exactly.
that was tremendous. I believe last time I saw Joe on social media, he's in the I think he's in the Atlantic League back east. One of the good guys.
And Miranda has to find the strike zone.
Yes, he does. He's 2-0 to Carrera. 3-0. All of a sudden, he's lost the feel.
Yeah. 7 balls in a row.
Yeah, you don't want to put these cats on bases. Then you get on base, and then you get back to Pilar and Donaldson and Bautista Morales. And a walk back to back. Trouble brewing here. Mariners need a double play.
The last pitch looked like a strike. Bill Stottlemyre Jr. on his way out to the mound.
Well, tonight is officially a sellout, and if you're listening and nearby, there's 5,000 seats available for tomorrow for the finale. Boy, it's amazing how pitching goes sometimes. Look good, retiring the first 8 men, and then all of a sudden you can't find a strike zone.
Yeah.
So now you got to deal with Pilar, struck out on 3 pitches to open the ball game. Mariners a double play deck. Turn 1 last night, make that turn 2 last night. There's a strike.
Well, that's the thing too. We talked about it with the Blue Jays and how they've struggled against left-handed starters this year. This lefties overall hitting just .225, so you don't want to help them out by putting guys on. They're hitting just .223 as a team with runners in scoring position. They do a lot of their scoring hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
There's another strike, so 0-2. Pilar's a fast runner. You want to also keep him off the bases. You got Barney and Carrera. Both of those guys can scoot. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Worked inside and missed. 1-2. Miranda here at home, 3-1 record at 2.02 ERA. Trying to find that groove that he had earlier in this game and in his last start.
Let's see if he goes to the split. Threw the fastball inside 0-2, move him around. Typically he'll come back with a split.
You mentioned his last start at Beauty, a complete game against Tampa Bay. Pitch.
And that was the split. Most of the time he wants to start that where it looks like it's going to be on the plate and have it fall down below the strike zone. Ball was outside.
Leading winner for the Mariner Ball Club with 6 wins, 6-2. James Paxton at 5-0. Important pitch here, 1-2. That is a foul ball. Wrap up the series tomorrow. Good pitching matchup. James Paxton, as you mentioned, is 5-0. How about his ERA at 1.69? Goes against Jay Happ, who was a one-time Mariner. Just back off the DL. He's 0-4 with a 5.33 ERA. One out, 2 on here. And Miranda, 1-2 pitch. That'll get into the stands.
It'll be interesting seeing Paxton tomorrow. Look at the Blue Jays. I think the majority of their hitters like the ball out over the plate. And for Paxton at 97 miles an hour, he's going to pitch inside. So that'll be fun to watch. There's James.
One-two pitch. Nice dig by Carlos Ruiz. There's all that experience coming to the fore there with a fabulous stop. And a little luck involved too.
Looks like he tried to overthrow that last pitch. This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat. It was a split. He tried to throw, barely clearing the grass, and just spiked it.
2-2. Another easy play for Gerard Dyson. Shallow right center field. Third put out already for Dyson. 2 outs. Here comes Josh Donaldson. Three-time All-Star, League MVP in 2015. Calf injury in the spring, then he re-injured it in late April and returned to action on May 26th. Caught in between, strike 1.
Good fastball, top of the strike zone. You see, for a lot of starters, they'll have that one inning where they struggle for whatever reason. Typically mechanically things get out of whack for them. If they can survive it, they usually get back to where they're at. And for Miranda, he cruised through the first 2 innings, so hopefully he can find that again.
Wow, what a wonderful play! Keeps the Jays off the board. A leaping grab, another Gold Glove quality performance by Kyle Seager. Donaldson ripped it. Cat quick, step it and dive. He got it. And Miranda's the most thankful guy on the ball field. do you think? You think the Mariner folks ordered extra victuals for this weekend series?
Yeah, I think they're okay.
Ben Gamble, top of the order. Gamble, Heredia, and Cano. Mariners lead on what is turning into a Kyle Seager night. He got an RBI single in the second, and he has twice saved the bacon of Mr. Ariel Miranda with fabulous defensive plays. My goodness.
And he's off to a great start. Ben Gamble with a couple of hits last night, drove in a run.
Behind 0-2 to Marcus Stroman. One-two pitch. Took a lot off. Ben was able to get a piece of it. Sellout tonight. 5,000 seats available for tomorrow. If you deign to come out, give it a shot. Why not? Big crowd, party atmosphere. 1-2 pitch. Barney makes the play. Second time Gamble has grounded out. Darwin Barney. Take a look at our Delta Airlines keep climbing standings. At Houston Ball Club, they won yet again today. Mariners had 500 for the third time this season, looking to get into new territory, plus 500. Rangers, they got into that Washington bullpen and beat them again today. Dusty's club had it, and then they gave it up in the ninth inning and then lose in extra frames.
I was surprised that when we were there, because they're having so many issues out in their pen today, but it sounds like they're going to do much to help them out as far as the bullpen goes.
Word is the bank is closed.
Yeah.
Nice play there by Downton. 2 outs. Well, not surprising to see all these ground balls produced by Marcus Stroman.
Third highest ground ball percentage in the American League. That's pretty good. You mentioned the Astros. Keuchel and McCullers 1 and 2 in that category. 2 of the Astros starters.
Pitch outside to Cano. 0-2 count, first time up. Dribbled one back to Marcus Stroman. Off the fist of Tulowitzki. Now 1-2-3 third. Mariners lead 1-0. So far it's been all about Kyle Seager and Miranda. It's 1-0 Seattle. Sports is brought to you by Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com. Do more by CHI Franciscan Health, the Mariners' official partners in health. Learn to stay Northwest healthy at nwhealthy.org. And by Amtrak Cascades. What a beautiful way to travel. Visit AmtrakCascades.com. sellout. Safeco Field as we come to you above the A and Safeco here in the TV box. Time now for our AARP, getting to know Jose Bautista. He's reached base safely in 44 of his last 45 games against the Mariners, hitting .321, 12 homers, 29 RBIs, and an OPS of 1.053. Ouch.
Yeah, one of those home runs in last night's ball game.
First pitch from Miranda. Under his hands for strike. Bautista, Morales, and Smoke 3, 4, and 5 coming up.
Started him off with a changeup. Second time through the lineup for Miranda. First time through a lot of first pitch fastballs.
Crowded in big town. Bautista started off his career bounce around Baltimore, Kansas City, and Pittsburgh. Career took off. Really took off once he got to Toronto. For the Blue Jays in his 10th year. He's hit 276 of his 319 home runs as a Jay. Big swing and a miss. Bautista's one of those guys too, like Cruz, you can hear him hitting.
That's true. It's a very good point. You can. There's a big swing and a miss right there on a split. Well located split on the outside corner.
That ball he hit last night sounds still echoing. 2-2. Way outside. Miranda's walked 2, struck out 1. 3-2 to Bautista. Walked in his 3rd. Can't keep flirting with danger walking these guys. As you mentioned, they do a lot of that, most of their damage as a home run hitting team.
5th in the American League in home runs. And a lot of their scoring comes from that. Look at the rest of their numbers. They are 12th in hitting. On base percentage, 11th in the league.
John Gibbons said they're looking for that push to get over the hump. They're trying to get over 500 as well. Here's Morales. Popped up to moderate first. Strike 1. Pretty good use. The pitch under the hands of these right-handers so far when he has been on, Miranda.
Well, again, for the Blue Jays, seeing them, they like the ball out over the plate. And if you can pitch inside, I think that's an advantage. Nice pitch right on the inside corner. It also will help his split. He'll start to cheat to try to get to that fastball inside. Keep him from diving out over the plate.
Mariners 20-11 here at home. Blue Jays on the road 12-18. And look at Carlos Ruiz doing a real good job behind the plate. Huge crowd here. Majority Blue Jay fans, and Blue Jays #1 in attendance in the American League. 4th overall in the bigs. 1-1 pitch. Crushed left field. Goodbye. Kendrys Morales, a 2-run homer. The 2-1 ball game. Blue Jays on top now for Morales, home run number 12. RBIs 32 and 33. There was no doubt about it.
Well, we were just talking about they want the ball out over the plate. That is middle away, just above the belt.
Added on a 1-1 pitch. So a 2-1 lead now for the Jays. There's Justin Smoke. Put the shift on for him. Strike one to Big Smokey, who flied out to right. It has awakened the denizens in blue. That was, by the way, first hit for the Jays. Cano taking charge. One down here in the fourth. Smokes retired. That'll bring up Troy Tulowitzki, the shortstop. Tulo in his third year with the Jays. Five-time All-Star. Long Beach State guy. Became a star first rounder with the Colorado Rockies back in '05.
Starting to get a pretty good feel with his changeup. Not a bad idea. The Jays are starting to look for that fastball.
One in between. Miranda out front here, 0-2. Was the 11th home run given up by Miranda, 10th to a right-hander. The 0-2 pitch.
That was a little more like it. That last split down out of the strike zone, but on the plate.
It is, while many of the fans here are Blue Jays fans, it is nice to see this ballpark filled. Place rocks. 0-2. Nice friendly hop for Smitty. 2 away. To give away guaranteed to make Dad cooler. Sunday, June 25th, EQC Second Chance Father's Day. When the first 10,000 dads will take home a Mariners backpack cooler. It's just in time for the summer, so stop by Mariners.com to pick up tickets for the entire family. Russell Martin Jr. His first pitch swinging, leading off in the third, flied out to Dyson in center. 0-3 in last night's game. He's just back from the DL. Shoulder, neck, and nerve problems.
16 pitches, 12 first pitch strikes, and last few hitters he's been able to get ahead with the changeup. That one 84 right on the outside corner again. Good pitch.
He's ahead of Martin here, 0-2.
Like the split.
Martin's gone, fouls it into Chooch's glove. Damage done by Morales, the two-time former Mariner. 2-run homer makes it 2-1 Toronto. Coming up, Nelson Cruz, Kyle Seager, and Taylor Motter. Having a night early on in this ball game. Two defensive gems, run savers, and at that point was preserving no-hit work by Ariel Miranda, and he drove in the Mariners' only run to this point. Hey, wearing a seatbelt is your best defense in any crash, so please always buckle up. Help us reach Target Zero. Learn more at WADrive2Zero.com. Back in a second, Nelson Cruz led off with a single, came around to score to see if that formula works again. And this time backhanded by Smoke. Nice play, one out.
And for Justin, may have had his struggles offensively when he's here with the Mariners, but always a good defensive first baseman, taking a hit away from Nelson Cruz. And showed you Kyle Seager. Dave mentioned driven in the one run for the Mariners tonight. Kyle now with 35 RBIs.
Seager Nation, his mom and dad ran into them downstairs. Brother Corey had a big day. Today's what, Saturday? I guess it was Tuesday or Wednesday. That was the Scherzer Kershaw matchup, won by the Dodgers, and Corey went deep in that game. Kyle extended his hitting streak to 6 ball games with that RBI single back in the second. These guys going through their second time seeing Stroman tonight. What have they learned to this point?
Well, I think because they were able to see him in Toronto, they had a pretty good idea. And basically, I think Kyle has done a pretty good job so far. He's waiting for a pitch up in the strike zone. We talked about Stroman trying to keep the ball on the ground with both his fastball and his slider. So you have to get him to elevate some pitches if you want to have some success. And Kyle was able to do that his first time up as he drove the ball back up the middle.
1-2 pitch. 2 runs on 1 hit for Toronto, a run on 3 hits for the Mariners. Stroman struck out 2, hasn't walked anybody. Miranda has 2 strikeouts and walked 3. 2-2 to Seager. Ooh, look out. It did get him.
Yes. That is scary. For Stroman, he likes to pitch away, and it just shown Kyle, they hit the visor of his helmet, the changeup, and so Kyle's trying to hang in there and not pull off a ball away, and does the right thing, able to turn his head away from the pitch as he gets a piece of the visor.
So they'll bring up Taylor Motter. And boy, look at this. From every reach of the ballpark, Seager fans here in attendance. Kyle's aboard. Home base for the second time tonight. Taylor Motter struck out on a pitch. Breaking ball running away from him like that one.
He's going to have to hit it the other way. I don't think Stroman is going to pitch him inside at all. Big hole on the right side of the infield. It was on his homestand that Taylor Motter had a game where he was trying to hit the ball the other way and was able to do it, pick up a couple of hits.
Got to work from behind here. 0-2. That's where he was last time up. There again. Same result. 2 outs. 3rd strikeout for Stroman.
He gets a lot of his strikeouts to right-handers with that breaking ball off the plate away.
Brings up Gerard Dyson, popped out to second baseman Darwin Barney. Strike one. Donaldson a couple steps in on the grass at third and pours in strike two to Stroman. And he's got the advantage right now. 0-2, 2 out. With Seager at first.
And he's starting to feel good. 95 miles an hour on that last fastball with some pretty good run to it. Two-seamer down at the bottom of the strike zone.
And nasty pitch to get Dyson. Back-to-back Ks, 4 for the ball game. Runner stranded at first. We go to the 5th. Toronto 2-1. Difference of the game. Two-time Mariner. Kendrys Morales, he knew it as soon as he touched it up. 1-1 pitch, 2-run homer. And that put Toronto in front where they are right now.
Took advantage of a fastball up and out over the plate. For Morales' 12th home run on the year.
Eight, 9-1 here against Miranda. Darwin Barney. First pitch strike. Barney walked on 4 pitches in the 3rd. And so did Carrera. And it looked like a world of trouble for Miranda. He got Pilar to fly out, and then Donaldson hit a screamer that Seager made a diving catch. Prevented big time damage. Mariners got their run on a Kyle Seager 2nd inning. RBI single. Cruz had started it with a base hit up the middle. Wild pitch the second. Cruz scored on the Seager single to center. Both of these pitchers, Miranda and Stroman, lead their respective teams with 6 wins apiece, and both of them on a good roll coming into today's game. Cano will settle under this.
I think the big key for Miranda is, again, stay away from the walks. Yes, Morales hit the home run, but there was a walk to Batista right before that. For Toronto, it's the only hit that they have.
There's Carrera.
Starting to throw a lot of first pitch strikes. 17 batters, 13 first pitch strikes. Now throwing it to 8 in a row.
2 infield hits last night for Ezekiel, the left fielder. Did not go as he checked with James Hoy. 2-0. Second year with the Jays for Carrera, who's been with Cleveland, Philly, and Detroit. 2-0. Left field, Heredia. Good read. Coming up tomorrow, pride of Ladner, BC. James Paxton takes on Jay Happ in his second stint with the Jays. Jay went 20-4 with the Jays last year. He's recently off the disabled list. Paxton has seen his time on the DL, and when he's been healthy, James has been absolutely fantastic. Top of the order, here's Pilar for the third time. Strikeout and a fly to center. Gorgeous blue sky above here at Safeco Field. Sunset at about 9:06 Pacific. 0-1. And it twisted in knots.
Looked like one of the few breaking balls that he's thrown, the slider. Almost ended up behind him.
Miranda way ahead here. 0-2. Breaking ball hit down to Seager. And a nice crisp inning for Ariel Miranda. Through 5, he's down 2-1. And coming up, Carlos Ruiz swinging a hot bat lately. Tyler Smith back to the top of the order. Ben Gamble. Game of a 3-game set. Mariner fans outnumbered in their own ballpark, but everybody's having a good, peaceful time. Kendrys Morales, the former Mariner 2-run homer, has Toronto in front. Dave Sims, Mike Blowers, Root Sports crew. There is Carlos Ruiz, base hit the right his first time, and he looks at strike one. Carlos, Tyler Smith, and Ben Gamble face Marcus Stroman. Pilar backing up, a little more carry than he originally thought. One away. Hey, we'd like to welcome MyNet subscribers from Monmouth, Oregon. Thank you for rooting on the Seattle Mariners. All of us at Root Sports and the Mariners appreciate your support. Maybe tonight we even have some residents of Monmouth in the ballpark. If not, we hope you're enjoying festivities at home.
Well, Tyler Smith strikeout his first time up, and they're going to set up away. This has been pretty constant tonight from Stroman, pitching everybody away. He's had a good fastball at 94 miles an hour, trying to start it off the outside corner and run it back on the plate. And you think you have that figured out. He'll start the slider on the corner and throw it off the plate away.
Stroman struck out 4, hasn't walked anybody. He did hit a batter. It was Seager with 1 out in the 4th.
He and Miranda both working ahead for Stroman. 18 batters faced, 14 first pitch strikes, and primarily it's been with his fastball away.
1-1 pitch. Pulled foul. One out, nobody on. A 1-2 pitch here to Tyler Smith. There you go. And he got rung up.
That was the breaking ball again. Slider.
5th strikeout for Stroman. 2 away here in the 5th inning.
This is well off the plate away, and at 87 miles an hour. Has to be difficult to pick up the spin again. That is his best pitch. Ben Gamel has grounded out to second a couple of times tonight.
The other way, base hit.
It's a great adjustment.
Ben Gamel now with his 13th hit on the homestand ties Danny Valencia for the team lead.
Came into the game hitting .317 overall, and if you're going to hit over 300, you have to be able to use the entire field. You can see a lot of movement on that fastball, and so Ben, his first couple of times rolling over, some ground balls to the right side, lets it travel a little bit further, head right on it. Good looking swing. I think he made up his mind he was going to hit a ball the other way. Paid off for him.
Here's Sheretti, a couple of ground outs, 0 for 2. Want to know to Guillermo. Second inning, Seager RBI single. Counts for the Mariner run. Kendrys Morales in the 4th, a 2-run homer. Long hold by Stroman. Up the middle. Barney to Tulowitzki for 1. That's all they needed. 2-1 Blue Jays as we go to the 6th. 2-1 ball game. Top 6. Josh Donaldson leads off. Looks a strike one tonight. Josh fly to center and robbed by Seager in the 3rd.
Looking at the replays, Kyle making that diving grab, it looked almost it was behind him.
I agree.
Great reaction.
One pitch.
He's not missing that inside corner by much.
Donaldson, Bautista, Morales 2-3-4 against Miranda. Struck out 2. And he's walked 3. He's behind in the count here, 3-1. There's Bautista on deck. Fouled off. Folks, as we look around the ballpark, there are very few empty seats. What a crowd we have here tonight. A sellout at Safeco Field, and only as of about an hour ago 5,000 seats remaining for tomorrow. Great to see the ballpark filled up. 3-2. Fouled off.
Miranda with a good fastball here in the 6th inning. Last one at 94 miles an hour. 72 pitches, 43 strikes for him.
Love to get this lead off, man. Miranda deals 3-2. That is going to slice foul. Plenty of distance.
Almost seems that Donaldson is looking for the changeup or the split. 3-1, 3-2, 3 fastballs in a row, and he's late on all of them. That is not like him. You can see he's trying to keep the fastball away after missing inside a couple of times.
And a walk.
That was the changeup, missed with it.
4th walk. Leadoff man's aboard here in the 6th. We take a look at the Mariners calendar. It's brought to you by Mattress Firm. As you can see, we're going to revisit the Minnesota Twins. 4 games out in the Twin Cities and then 3 in Texas. We're going to see a lot of heat during this week-long road trip, and then back home, Detroit, Houston, and Philly. Close out the month of June. Mariners on this homestand are 7-2. They've won 10 of their last 12.
Miranda now with 4 walks in the game. That ties a season high. He had 4 walks at Colorado. Ended up going just 5 innings, but picked up the win.
Fly out walk scored for Bautista. The 0-1. Good rip.
Yeah, fastball right in the middle of the plate. Was able to get away with it.
Early days, Bautista was a 3rd baseman. I'm an all-star outfielder. Had arm problems about a year and a half, 2 years ago, but the throwing arm's back to where it used to be. Donaldson. 2 sequences where he's missed a lot of time because of calf injury, 1 in spring training and 1 late in April. He's at first. Ball 2 strikes. Henderson Morales, who hit a 2-run homer last time up, he's on deck. Here we go, 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We've seen Bautista. He gets those arms extended. He is very dangerous.
Well, that last fastball, it was off the plate inside, but not that far off. And Bautista, you can see he's starting to dive out over the plate. Not a bad idea to straighten him up.
Two strikeouts, 4 walks from Miranda. Now Bautista calls time. Last 3 starts for Miranda. Complete game against Tampa Bay, win against Colorado, win at Washington. Pitch. Ground ball. They'll get 1 at least. See if they get 2. Yeah, they get 2. Slow roller. Worked out well.
And it looks like the split, maybe the changeup. Off speed pitch out in front of it, and that's after the fastball inside. Able to speed him up right off the end of the bat. Turned out to be an easy double play.
He'll be careful with Morales. Ball 1. See the slow roller sometimes. Bautista's not as fast as he used to be. I thought that might have been a problem.
Seems that with the Blue Jays, a lot of the guys, especially in the middle of the lineup, are nursing an injury of some sort.
Double play, a big part of this inning. As Miranda navigates through 2, 3, and 4 in the order and keeps it a 2-1 Blue Jay lead on this beautiful Saturday night in Seattle. Now, time now for today's T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball break. And our focus on Nelson Cruz in the StatCast era since 2015. 400-foot home run, 75, 458 total distance, almost 8 miles. That is a great look, fellas. That's good stuff. 26 home runs with an exit velo of 110 plus. John Jacobson, outstanding research on that.
All of it sounds about right, doesn't it?
Yeah. And we're pleased to have been witness to just about all of it. Man, oh man. Robbie Cano due here. A couple of ground outs tonight. 7 for 35 on the homestand. Again, most of that hard luck hitting the ball right at people. Like this, but some of the other balls he's hit have been one way or the other in terms of a base hit or a great play, and more often than not it's been a great play. That was routine. The Orchid card. It's all you need to ride the Sounder train. Link light rail, buses, ferries, and streetcars. Learn more at getorca.com.
Well, this game tonight is similar to last night. Biagini, the starter for the Blue Jays, really threw the ball well. It took the Mariners a while before they could finally put some runs on the board. Ended up scoring 4, winning the ball game 4-2 last night.
Here's Nelly.
He has one of the 4 base hits.
Came around to score in the second inning on a Kyle Seager single after Nelly singled and then went to second on a wild pitch. Straight away and deep is how they play him in the outfield, as you would expect. Slider. 0-2. Two pitch here. Broken back ground ball, easy play. Donaldson. Two away. They get ready to dance the night away. Friday, June 23rd. Mariners at T-Mobile. They're bringing you Dancing Through the Decades Fireworks Night. Enjoy the greatest dance music from the 40 years of Mariner baseball, set to a spectacular fireworks show. Tickets at mariners.com.
Good night for Kyle. A couple of great plays. There's a base hit driven in the 1 run for the Mariners. He was hit by a pitch off the visor of his helmet last time up. On base a couple of times.
Another strike thrown by Marcus Stroman.
24 batters, 18 first pitch strikes.
Predominance of groundouts tonight. One may get down. It will. Base hit. Second one tonight for Kyle Seager.
Hit a pretty good pitch. That's a changeup. You can see the location of it, down and away from Kyle. If you can think more in the middle of the field off of Stroman, better chance because he's been pitching everybody away. And Kyle will stay on that just long enough. Get a base hit.
All right, what's in your mind if you're Taylor Motter? You've looked bad on 2 pitches running away hard.
Well, it's been both the bats and all the pitches have been away from him. He's trying to get to the slider, and I'm sure he's gone and taken a look at it. There you go.
45,480. Sell out.
He's going to have to hit the ball up the middle the other way unless Stroman makes a mistake.
Big sellout crowd here tonight. No, you're right. No. Everybody's seen the book on Motter. Well, he comes inside there. That's a strike.
Curveball.
One pitch. Goes the other way. Barney's right there.
Good at bat.
Can't catch a break. Goes with the pitch, drills it, and Barney was strategically placed to make the play. Mariners turned away in the 6th. The Mariner Ball Club is really throwing a nice ball game. He's behind 2-1. He gave up a 2-run homer to Kendrys Morales, but he is hanging in there against this Blue Jay team that likes to hit the ball out of the ballpark with great frequency.
Hasn't made too many mistakes tonight. You can see the 82 pitches, 4 walks. That's the number he wanted to stay away from, and that's one of the reasons why he's behind right now. There was a walk to Batista and then the home run to Morales to make it a 2-1 ball game.
Smoke, Tulowitzki, and Martin coming up 5, 6, and 7 here in the 7th inning. Just one hit for the Jays, and that was the homer by Morales. Smoke is flied to right, popped up to second. Have to shift on against him, and first pitch strike. Two defensive gems by Kyle Seager have been a big help to Miranda. One in the second, another in the third. Goes over the shift in open territory, and Justin Smoke leadoff single. Servicemen and women of the U.S. Armed Forces will receive a great ticket offer at Safeco Field. Select seats are 10% off. It's all part of this season's EQC military discount. Simply show your current military ID at the Safeco Field box office to get your tickets. Tulowitzki round out the third. Fabulous play made by Seager. That was in the second. Round out to short in the fourth.
Miranda now at 85 pitches. Season high 105 in his last outing. Maybe Tony Zick starting to get loose in the pen.
Two 2-0 to Tulowitzki. Carlos Ruiz, word of counsel. There's Tony. Smith and Cano, a double play depth. Turned a double play last inning. That one pulled foul.
Out in front of a changeup, 84 miles an hour.
Miranda's got wins against Miami, Cleveland, Angels, Washington, Colorado, and Tampa Bay. One more win than James Paxton. He'll go tomorrow. 2-1 pitch. Out of play. Tulowitzki wears number 2, his favorite player, Derek Jeter. Two runs on 2 hits for the Jays, a run on 5 for the Mariners. 2-2 pitch to Tulo. Ground ball, Smitty. There's one. And it just missed. A beautiful play. Tyler Smith got it started. Never gave up. Got the lead runner.
I did not think he was going to be able to get to this. It looked like a base hit, dives right in the end of his glove, gets rid of it quickly. Strong throw on the turn. Tulowitzki beats it out. Mariners have really played some nice defense tonight.
One out, one on. Russell Martin fly to center and a strikeout. Tulo hustling down the line. Didn't catch a break there. Canadian born in Montreal. Here's a 1-0. There's a strike, 1-1. 12 years in the bigs for Russell. Been with the Dodgers, Yankees, Pittsburgh. Third year with the Jays. Nice pitch. Ball and 2 strikes.
Early in the count, the Blue Jays have not swung at that fastball on the inside corner. They're taking it for a strike, and this pitch looked like a slider again, swinging over the top of it.
One-two pitch. Blocked by Chooch. Carlos done a good job working with Miranda. Really slowing things down with a man aboard. He's got a 2-2 pitch coming.
Well, you knew that was going to happen. You're right. Last couple of times taking a long time. So Martin asking for time. Most of the time the umpire, when it takes that long, will give the hitter the timeout.
Tight 2-1 ball game. Mariners won last night 4-2. Here's the 2-2. Couldn't get him to bite. Full count. So the Toronto catcher, Russell Martin Jr., Darwin Barney's on deck.
It's taking more time in between. That last fastball up in the zone. 94 pitches. He might be reaching the end of it.
Big pitch here. Chooch sets up outside and a foul ball.
Another elevated fastball. Tony Zick looks like he's ready to go in the pen. Third full count for Miranda on the night.
Let's see if it will develop into a double play. 3-2 pitch to Martin. And he walked it. 5th walk. Here comes Scott Service. He's going to go get him. And Jay Happ, former Mariner, faces off against James Paxton. Happ just off the couple stints on the DL. Paxton having a great run, 5-0 with a 1.69. Happ last year 20-4 with the Jays in his second time around with that ball club. So Ariel Miranda, coming off a complete game victory last Sunday against Tampa Bay, gets into the 7th inning. He's going to leave trailing 2-1 with a couple on and gets a nice ovation from the Mariner fans here in this sellout crowd at Safeco Field. 6 as we approach it. Some beautiful scenery. Looking at the iconic Space Needle. Time now for a Beacon Plumbing call to the pen. Miranda takes his leave here, Mike.
6 1/3, just 2 hits. Couple of runs. They were earned, a walk and a home run by Morales. 5 walks on the night. That's a season high for him. Couple of strikeouts. He threw 96 pitches, 56 for strikes.
And now our Beacon Plumbing call to the pen. It brings us Mr. Zick.
And for Tony, a 2-1 record, a 2.3 ERA. Opponents hitting .228 against him. He's given up 1 home run. Fastball at 95 miles an hour with a slider.
Face Darwin Barney. Barney 0 for 1 against Tony. So he comes into a tight situation, a 1-run deficit for the Mariners. 1 out, runners at first and second. You got Tulowitzki at second, Martin at first. Barney tonight has walked and popped out to Cano. Mariners looking for their second double play tonight. Smith, and right on cue. Yes, indeed. 1 pitch, double play. Tony Zick gets the job done. We go to the home 7th. 2-1 Blue Jays. Just imagine what you can do with a win from Washington's lottery play today. As you take a look at the time-lapse work of the weather here in Seattle from Safeco Field vantage point. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, Root Sports Crew. Since that video was taken, yep, they filled this baby up. 45,480. 2-1 as we go to the home 7th, and some news, some good news, and a guy we hope to see tomorrow, Mitch Haniger, 2 for 3 with a walk for Tacoma tonight against Las Vegas. It's good news.
It's great news.
And Mr. Haniger was nothing short of sensational in his first 21 games, hitting .342, 4 homers and 16 runs batted in. Mr. Rod Dyson 0 for 2.
Thought we were going to have a good pitching matchup tonight, and that's what it's turned into. Marcus Stroman a little bit better.
Dyson offers bunt, drawing in Donaldson and Smoke. Ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Shows bunt again, this time a strike. Stroman has 2 complete games already this season. A loss at Milwaukee back on the 12th of April. And a couple starts later, a win at the Angels. Did not go as he checked with James Hoyt.
One of the things that's really helped Stroman tonight is he's used his changeup a lot more than he typically does, especially to the left-handed hitters. They're really seeing his changeup quite a bit. On the year, he may throw a couple of them over the course of an outing. And more than that, and he still has a good fastball at 95 miles an hour. 83 pitches.
Danny Barnes heating up. Stroman wears number 6 to honor his late grandmother. It was her birth date. Here's a 2-2. Solid smash up the middle. Base hit for Gerard Dyson. Dyson's second in stolen bases to Cameron Maben in the American League. He's got 15. Maben's got 17.
And Stroman is aware of that, so I'm sure he's going to throw over to first base quite a bit. Dyson typically gets a pretty good lead.
And he usually goes early. Carlos Ruiz 1 for 2. Carlos has a 4-game hitting streak working. Carlos is 6 for his last 10.
He's had a good approach tonight. Base hit to right field, deep to right center field.
Long hold by Stroman. Runner goes. Here's the throw by Martin. Can't get him. Ball's into center field. Up quickly as Dyson. He's all the way to third. Pilar. It gets by him. Here comes Dyson. He's going to score. We got a tie ball game. Speed kills. How about that break? Pilar came in and just whiffed on it. And alert Dyson got up quickly.
This is something we've talked about all year long about Dyson, and what he does is he applies pressure. He applies pressure to the defense. Now he realizes it's by Pilar, and he scores easily. So because of his speed, Martin rushes the throw, gets past the infielders into the outfield. Pilar looking with his eyes up, not at the ball. Gets past him. And the Mariners tie up the ball game.
How about that? 2-0 to Chooch. Takes a strike. Scoring on the play. Stolen base. E2, E8. And I think it's pretty safe to say I've never seen one like that, where a guy scores all the way to first. I know obviously it's happened before, but I don't remember seeing one.
Only time I know that I've seen it is when the center fielder tries to throw him out at third and he ends up throwing it in a camera well or something like that.
But I've never seen a guy whiff on it like that coming in.
He's a pretty good outfielder too.
Yes, sir. So a new ball game here at 2-2 here, and a 3-2 pitch to Carlos Ruiz. Right side. Barney throws him out. MLB All-Star balloting is underway, and Nelson Cruz continues to have a commanding lead to be the starting DH for the American League squad. So help extend Nelson's lead by casting your ballot up to 5 times each day at mariners.com/vote. Two ball game. Here's Tyler Smith. He struck out twice. Up the middle. Stroman's got this. Two outs.
Tyler hasn't been able to pick up a hit tonight, but he has really played well in the field. Nice defensive plays.
Here's Ben Gamble. First 2 times up. Pulled the ball to the second baseman, Darwin Barney. Third time up, slapped it past Donaldson at third in the left field for a base hit. Right down the line. Two. John Gibbons talking about Stroman. Super competitive, great kid, and can always spin it.
It helps to have a good fastball too, and that one at 95. He's at 95 probably 4, maybe 5 times tonight.
Yeah, you can see him dig down a little deeper for that one. Oh, 2 to Gamble. Martin throws down the first. That'll do it. But how about the speed element that the Mariners haven't had for a long time? Cha-ching as Dyson forces a couple of errors and scores, and we get a new ball game as we head to the 8th. Even more Blue Jay fans in the building tonight. 45,480. A sellout here at Safeco Field. What a ball game. 2-2. Some of the greats of the Negro Leagues like James T. Cool Papa Bell would have loved what Gerard Dyson just did. Helped tie it up. With speed. What an element. Carrera, Ezekiel Carrera leading off. Seager creeping in at third. This one fouled straight back. 0-2. Carrera tonight, a walk and a fly to left. You're just joining his second inning. Mariners broke on top. Cruz with a base hit to center. Wild pitch to second. Seager brought him in with the single. Moved to the 4th. Leadoff walk to Bautista. 1-1 pitch. Kendrys Morales left the yard near the out-of-town scoreboard. Deep left center field for the 2-1 lead. Home 7th. Dyson leads off with a single to center. Breaks for second. Gets the bag. Throwing error by the catcher, and then Pilar coming in overruns the ball. And Dyson scores, and we got a 2-2 ball game. 1-2 pitch here. That could be some trouble. That's a whole bunch of trouble. Jays had the lead. It's 3-2 Toronto. 5th home run by Carrera. RBI number 14.
And this is exactly what their offense is. Hit the ball out of the ballpark. Second home run of the game for him. Had a home run yesterday, and this is a fastball right in the middle of the plate. Tony trying to get it in on his hands, it looked like. And ran right back out over the plate.
1-2 pitch. He got it up and out. Breaking ball. Start off Pilar. And strike. Pilar struck out. Fly to center, grounded out to third. 3-2 ball game. Just the third Toronto hit. Sickle takes time. One out here in the 8th. Gonna bring up Josh Donaldson. First time these two will face off.
Donaldson 0 for 2. He walked his last time up.
First pitch here to Josh. Strike one. Line to center, hard line out. Spectacular play by Seager in the 3rd and a walk in the 6th. Breaking ball. No. 1-1. Donaldson, an all-star with the A's in 14, all-star with the Blue Jays in 15 and 16. He hit 63 home runs for Oakland, and they still delving. Here's the 1-1. 1-2. Second home run given up by Tony Zych. 1-2 to Donaldson.
One of the better sliders. Wanted to throw it off the plate, was able to get it there.
Signs one more time. Two pitch from Tony. And he got him to chase it. And Donaldson thought he got a piece of it. Jeff Kellogg explaining no.
He definitely thought that he had a piece of it and that it was a foul ball. And then we'll take a look at it. Slider off the plate and it's down.
I don't think so. Chooch caught it anyway.
Yeah. Oh, he was saying that he thought it hit the ground, but it did not hit the ground.
Oh, he caught that cleanly.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Donaldson will point to the ground. Yeah, he thought it hit the ground.
2 away. There's Bautista. He's 0 for 1 against Zych. He had one thing on his mind, didn't he?
He guessed wrong.
Here's the 0-1. And he's ahead here. Three runs, 3 hits, 2 errors by Toronto. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Mariners. Advantage Zych, he's ahead 0-2. He had Dyson, Smith, and Seager all headed for the dugout.
3 sliders in a row. That one just off the outside corner.
1-2 pitch. Take a catch there by Carlos Ruiz. Got a lot left in the tank. 38 years old. His catching skills still pretty doggone good. Using them once or twice a week. That was one late swing.
He's just not picking the slider up at all. I think the only chance he has to do anything with it if he leaves it middle in. If he gets it away from him, he's not going to do much with it.
Chooch giving the touch signs, no fingers. 2-2 pitch. Oh man, Tony was halfway up the mound. Motter was headed for the dugout. 3-2. Oh man.
Well, that was off the plate.
Just get a kick out of watching, guys. I know you've been there before. That's a strike, and you start making that step. Half the defense was making a move towards the dugout.
Definitely been there before.
Here we go, 3-2. And walked him. Brings up Morales. 2-run homer. Back in the fourth. And now, wow, how about that? He just kept on going. Batista's at second. Heck of a play.
Strange. He gets to first, and for some reason he decides to keep running.
He sees Tony not looking at him. It's a stolen base.
But the middle infielders, they didn't go to the bag either.
Caught everybody napping. Easiest bag that Batista's ever gotten. He's not 4 for 4 in the season. Tony was clearly doing a burn.
Yeah, he was. He was not happy. He thought he missed a couple of pitches with Batista. I was surprised, though, to see Batista try it.
He's got service out forward. Refocus, boys. So here's Tony. Yep, doing the burn. Chooch is pointing. He's looking up in the stands, and he's going, what the hey?
But nobody moved.
Except Bautista.
Except for him. Strange.
All right, that's another one I haven't seen.
And I'm wondering why he decided to try it.
Figure what, he's up 3-2,
and look, most of the time that's not going to work. That is not going to happen.
Yeah, but at Razor's Edge, what the hey? Try what? Let's see. Nobody react. Motter's not paying attention. Boom! Now he sets up there. That's what did it right there. Stop at a start.
Yeah.
Robbie saw it and Tyler didn't. Good move. Good play. Need an out. Got to get the emotions back in check and execute.
That's the reason why Scott Service went out to the mound.
Dangerous hitter here in Morales. The password right now is focus. Justin Smoke on deck, 2 out. Bears trying to keep it a 1-run deficit. 1-1 to Morales. Foul off. Clean catch by a glove-wearing Blue Jay fan. 2 outs, man at second. A 1-2 pitch here to Kendrys Morales. Pitch from Zick. Hit right to Tyler Smith.
Nothing hurt.
Coming up in home eighth, Guillermo Heredia, Robinson Cano, and Nelson Cruz. Sounds like some runs. 3-2 Toronto. Proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. By BNSF Railway, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. By CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. And by Jack in the Box. Come try the sweet or spicy barbecue bacon cheeseburger combo for $4.99. Limited time only. Heck of a night here at Safeco Field. Full house watching Marcus Stroman. He pitched a whale of a ball game tonight for the Blue Jays.
7 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, just one of them earned. Didn't walk anybody. A big key for him tonight. 6 strikeouts. He threw 95 pitches.
So John Gibbons goes to his bullpen and brings out the veteran Joe Smith.
Already 31 appearances on the year, a 2.83 ERA, 44 strikeouts in 28 2/3. Went up a couple of home runs. Side armor. Dave mentioned he's been around for a while. His fastball right around 89 miles an hour. Slider changeup to go with it.
Heredia, his first hitter. Guillermo 0 for 3. Joe Smith in his 11th year in the big leagues. .29 career saves. There's a strike, 1-1. Joe's been with the Mets, Cleveland, Angels, Cubs, and now Toronto. Solid smash up the middle, base hit for Guillermo Heredia. Mariners rallied last night, trying to do it again here this evening.
Well, with that base hit, they'll get into the middle of their lineup. Cano, Cruz, and Seager do up.
Base hit for Guillermo. Breaks an 0 for 8 for him. Here's Robbie. 0 for 3. 3 groundouts. He's 3 for 10 career against Joe Smith. Cruz is 1 for 14. That's 0.71. Late inning lightning here for the Mariners. Is on call. 8th inning, down a run, 3-2. 7th hit there. At base knocked by Heredia. Back. Joe keeping an eye on him. Already a 1 for 3. And base doing. Doesn't want to get too far off there. Cano and Cruz and Seager coming up.
And he is going to try to keep everything away from Robbie. Pilar shading towards left center.
Want to know to Cano. Strike 1-1. Conference now with Russell Martin.
Can't imagine what this long conversation is about. You would think they've gone over the scouting report when he was getting loose in the bullpen, especially with Robinson Cano.
Joe's pitched to him before, Robbie, as you mentioned, 3 for 10 against Joe. Good pass at it. 1-2.
He was just taking a chance right here. He was looking for something elevated. Now when it's a little bit too far out of the strike zone, he wanted something he could hit in the air.
Outfield deep. 1-2 pitch. Hit the other way. Gets foul. Scoring change. I was keeping score at home on Bautista going all the way to second. They've changed it to a fielder's choice. One and 2 to Cano. Flips it foul.
He was just going to stay out there. It was typical late in the game. The veteran is Smith. He knows. Does not want to give him a pitch where one swing is going to beat him. So everything's going to be away. You see his throwing motion. His fastball typically run away from left-handers.
Joe taking his time. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Up high.
Tried it again.
2-2.
One thing that we know about Robinson Cano is he can hit the high fastball. Nelson Cruz waiting on deck.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Mariners down a run. Pitch. Base hit. Gets past the diving Barney. Heredia had to make sure. Runners at first and second. Nobody out here in the 8th for Nelson Cruz. Robbie rewarded. Didn't get robbed there. Hit it hard.
Took 7 pitches. Fastball actually on the outside corner. He was able to reach out there and barrel it up.
I got the big man up there. See if he can come through. And he's due against Joe Smith, a career 1 for 14. Donaldson with a dive. They get one, and Nelly, they got him at first. Oh, my goodness.
Nelson thought he beat it.
So did Robbie Cano. He's coming back screaming, imploring Scott Service that you got to challenge that call by Clint Fagan.
Great play by Donaldson, diving to his left. Pretty good turn by Barney at second base. We talked about Cruz and that calf.
He's safe.
And they're going to take a look at it. Close play, but it looks as he beat it.
And you can see the ball between the knees.
He's safe.
Take the play at second.
That's
nothing
good.
wrong there.
Yeah, nothing wrong there.
Battling that calf injury, and tell you what, he sucked it up the last 5-6 steps. You could see him kicking into a slightly higher gear. Didn't have a heck of a lot in the tank, but he was.
And he made it, and the good news is he seems to be fine.
Yep. There we go. Here's the verdict. Survey says safe. You betcha.
Now we'll see if we get a pinch runner, and we will. Boog Powell going to run for Nelly.
Boy. Now the pinch run.
And that will bring up Kyle Seager. Kyle's had a good night. Been on base all 3 times. Has driven in a run. A couple of hits for him, as you see Boog Powell.
1 out, tying run at third, go ahead run at first. Joe Smith against Kyle Seager. Kyle 1 for 4 against Joe. First pitch, strike. Took 125, minute 25. Ryan Tepera heating up. 125 on that review. Ball going the other way. 1-1. Edwin Diaz, Steve Cishek at the ready.
Right now Kyle is going to try to get something up in the zone. So Smith trying to stay down to get the ground ball in the double play to try to get out of the inning.
1-1 to Siegs. Popped it up, back up this way.
And that was the pitch he wanted. Fastball up and in the middle of the plate.
Three-two ball game here in the 8th. Mariners with the win would be beyond 500 for the first time this season. One-two pitch from Joe Smith. Not the at-bat he wanted. Full big time. Smith wins that battle.
See how high that target is, and it's off the plate. A lot of run to it.
Taylor Motter. Mariners need him right here. 2 outs, runners at the corners, down a run.
Well, they're going to pitch him away, and he will use his slider on him.
2 strikeouts and a 0-2 pitch in the second and the fourth, and then hit a hard liner to Darwin Barney, the second baseman, in the 6th. Bouncing ball, shortstop too low. Inning over. Mariners strand 2. That's a tough way to go. To the 9th inning, it's 3-2 Toronto. takes over here in the 9th inning. Mariners down a run, trying to keep it that way.
For Steve, 7 appearances on the year, a 4.26 ERA, just 6 in the third. Ran 3 strikeouts over 1 walk. Fastball, slider, fastball right around 90.
(3-2) Toronto. The difference right now in Ezekiel Carrera. Leadoff homer in the 8th. Cishek to face former Mariner Justin Smoke. Smoke 1 for 3. Fly to right, pop to second, base hit to right in the 7th inning. Smokey drives it deep to right, and it is gone. 18th homer, 43rd run batted in. A little cushion now for the Blue Jays. Smoke 1 for 3 in last night's game. Rides it out of here. Got 18 home runs, 14 of them left-handed.
And a fastball up and right down the middle. He has been a hot hitter. Blue Jays with 3 home runs tonight.
2-run shot Morales in the 4th, solo blast Carrera in the 8th, and now Smoke. Tulowitzki 0 for 3. Oh, and 2 to Tulo. Mariners on the bottom third of the order coming up in the home 9th. Oh, 2 way outside. Two from Cishek. 2-2. Three home runs by the Jays gives them 87 on the season.
They were 5th in the American League at the start of the game.
2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. 1 out. Hey fans, as we continue our annual Ultimate Northwest Fan Contest this season, we'd like to extend an invitation to all Northwest sports fans to join us over Labor Day weekend at Safeco Field. You receive a view level ticket and your choice of an Ultimate Northwest t-shirt for just $17, or a box level seat and a t-shirt for $36 when you purchase through the special offer. Sager throws out Russell Martin Jr. 2 down. Home run given up by Cishek, his 2nd since being activated. Here's Darwin Barney. And he hits one down the line. That is foul. But not by a heck of a lot.
No, that was really close. I think he breaks his bat.
Third base umpire James Hoy.
Good call.
From our vantage point, looking at it with the naked eye, looked a lot closer than it was in the camera view. So 2 outs, a run in, and an 0-1 count here to Barney. Walk, a pop up, bounced into a double play. One. Roberto Osuna. Their closer, tough hombre at 14 saves. And a 2-0 record. 1-1. Two-one pitch. Count evens at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Carrera waiting. He has a home run tonight.
Two pitch. Such might have room. 4 feet shy. Two pitch. Cishek. A shovel over to Motter. Work to do for the Mariners as they get last licks here in the ninth. Down 2. They'll face Roberto Osuna. Rod Dyson will lead things off when we come back. As Roberto Osuna takes over, 5th in saves in the American League.
14 saves, ERA right around 3. Opponent's hitting .218. He's given up a couple of home runs this year. Fastball at 95 miles an hour. Slider, cutter, changeup.
Dyson the first hitter. Donaldson sneaking in at 3rd. First pitch strike. Danny Valencia is on deck. He'll pinch hit for Carlos Ruiz. First time Dyson facing Osuna. And he could not check that swing.
Pretty good cutter in on his hands.
Right now, advantage Osuna. Rally caps in force. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. 1 out.
Just a hard breaking ball. Is going to end up down out of the strike zone. 12-6 curveball. 87 miles an hour. Dyson swings right over the top of it. Tough to lay off of that pitch when you know he's throwing 95 to 97 miles an hour.
You got Danny Valencia pinch hitting for Ruiz. You got Mike Zunino on deck to pinch hit for Tyler Smith. .98 miles an hour. Danny with a base hit and drove in a run last night. Here's the 0-1. Pilar coming in, long run, and he's there for out number 2. We saw Osuna back on Friday, May 12, a 4-0 Toronto win. He went scoreless inning in the 9th with 2 strikeouts.
Mike Zunino is going to pinch hit.
And we saw him on May 13th. A scoreless inning and a 7-2 win.
Coming for Tyler Smith.
Mike Z going to try to keep it alive here. 2 outs. 1 for 7 against Osuna. Strike 1.
That is nasty. Cutter at 93 miles an hour and well located. Topped out at 98 so far.
Nasty. Pretty much a form he showed back in Toronto when we saw him. You mentioned 5th in saves in the American League. He's ahead 0-2. Pitch. Fouled off. Mariners down to their last strike here in the 9th. Carrera gave him the lead 3-2. Got an insurance tally on a home run by Smoke in the 9th. It's 4-2 Toronto. Osuna set for Zunino. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Ball game over. And the Blue Jays have evened the series. They win it 4-2, and the Mariners fall below 500 yet again. Meanwhile, Toronto goes to 30-32.
Well, we thought it was going to be a good pitching matchup, and that's exactly the way it turned out. But it was the power of the Blue Jays tonight, hitting 3 home runs, including Justin Smoke, his 18th, that ended up costing the Mariners.
Tough one tonight, to say the least. For Mike Flowers, I'm Dave Sims. Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines starts right now with Brad and Dave.
Gentlemen, thank you. We can hardly hear you. It's a little loud out here in the pen and the stadium as the Blue Jays